So, anyways, welcome back. Updates. There are none. I haven't really done much. I haven't made a whole lot of progress. Got the transmission back together. Got the bearings clearanced. Well, you saw that in the last video. Don't really have any real ambitious goals today. Just going to go ahead and get the rings clearanced, or the rings, yeah, that thing. Go ahead and do the rings, gap the rings. That's the word I'm looking for. It's gonna go ahead and gap the rings and maybe put the rods and pistons together and maybe try and get the rotating assembly back in the block. Probably not gonna make it that far because I still gotta clean everything up again. No rush. Alright, so probably a pretty familiar sight by this point. Yeah, so I'm just gonna go ahead and get the rings gapped. You know, when you order a set of pistons or just order a set of rings, you know, they don't come gapped from the factory. I mean, they come gapped. I mean, there's obviously a gap to measure, but which one's the top ring? Anyways, you know, the factory in gap is probably fine for a stock application, but if you spent $500 on forged pistons, you're probably not planning on putting them in a stock application. So anyways, ring gap. Why is ring gap important? Ring gap is important because if you go too wide, you're going to end up with a lot of blow by, probably low compression. So that's the second ring. You know, possibly low compression and you know, things like that. If you go too narrow, too small of a gap, what's going to happen is when things start heating up and this piston starts to expand, that ring gap, well, the piston starts to expand, the block starts to expand, that ring gap's gonna start closing up on you. And if it's too tight when it's cold, once it gets hot, they can close up entirely, and you know, the ring can butt together and can either break the rings or seize the piston. All that type of bad stuff can happen. So, good idea to set your ring gap before going. All right, so yeah, you know, searching online, a lot of the turbo Miata guys, they say 200s, I guess would be it. 200s or 2200s. 200s for the first ring and 2200s for the second ring. Seems kind of wide, especially considering that wiseco, with their little multiplication chart, what I get is 1700s for the first and 1800s for the second ring. Probably just gonna go with wiseco's recommendation. I mean, they do suggest slightly wider. Ah, jeez. Circle track drag race. Maybe I should go for that one. So they got street moderate turbo nitrous. This probably won't be very moderate for very long. Yeah, maybe I should go like 1820. Maybe 1820 might be a good. I've had plenty of time to think about this. Dropped my phone like a goon. Freaking took the case off because, you know, I was like, you know, what's the point of buying such a nice phone and everything if you're gonna cover it up and make it look so hideous? And then a day into doing that, I fucking drop it on concrete and crack the fucking corner of it. Freaking $200 deductible to fix that. So needless to say, I'm not fixing it until it becomes a problem, or more of a problem. But right now it's just cosmetic, so whatever. So, anyways, yeah, I'm gonna go with what they call their circle track drag race. Bone just seems huge. 2022. Nitrous race only, so it's huge. Yeah, let's go with like 1920. Why not? Alright, so I've gone over this procedure once before. Alright, so what you're gonna do is take your ring, stick her in the block, take your piston, center it up, take your feeler gauge, and then measure the gap. So you can see in there, you can see that little gap. What you're gonna do, take your gauge, measure that gap. Right now it's about 17. I'm gonna take that out. God bless America, man. Getting eaten alive by mosquitoes out here. So you're gonna take your ring out, bring it back over here to your table. You're just gonna take a little bit off. And it's basically just rinse and repeat. I might have gone too far on that one. Oops. Better to be too loose than too tight. Alright, so that's probably at like 20. Grinded the hell out of that one. Yeah, we're at about 20 on that one. Whoops. So we'll go 2022. So basically what I did is I took a little too much off, but I got a little too aggressive. It's a diamond ring grinder, and it works pretty quick. So we're gonna go number 4, top ring .02. Just so I have that for reference. I'm going to go with the second ring now. Head back over here. Same cylinder bore. Still number 4. There's also a tiny little marking on there. Tells you which way the ring faces. You always want the ring facing up, obviously. That's the second ring. We are... Wow, that's already at 20. That's weird. Jesus. Yeah, it's already wide. Looks like wiseco chose for me on this, in this case. It's God, that feels really wide. It's not that wide. 23. Yeah, it's almost 23. I think it's like 22 already. Maybe it's like 21. Yeah. Alright, so second ring's at 21. I can take a little off, make it 22. A lot. So yeah, the second ring was already pretty wide. curious if they're all like that. Yeah, look at that, 22, good grief. Alright. Alright, so let's go and do the second ring there. So one thing to note whenever you're grinding these rings or gapping these rings is always do it on one side. Don't do it on both sides. And one of the reasons for that is that you want, if these two are to squeeze together, you want them to be lined up. You don't want to have like an A shape or anything like that. You want to make sure that they remain parallel to each other, the two edges. So only remove material from one side.